My name is Marlene and at 33 years old, my sister abandoned my 6-year-old daughter outside a mall to make a point because I wouldn't invest $40,000 in her dog cafe. I didn't shout. I did this instead. 3 weeks later, my sister lost everything. If you have ever felt betrayed by the people who should have been your biggest supporters, let me know where you are watching from. I asked my sister to babysit for 1 hour. That's it. One single hour, a Tuesday morning. Nothing dramatic, just a quick doctor's appointment. I'd waited months for something I couldn't reschedule unless I felt like starting the entire referral process over. He said, "Yes, actually," she gushed. "Of course, anytime. I need to bond more. Honestly, you should rely on me more. I should have known because when someone insists they're the world's most reliable person, it's usually right before they abandon your 6-year-old outside a shopping mall. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The appointment was uneventful. The doctor ran late as usual, and the waiting room smelled like disinfectant and baby powder. I was just checking the time when I called my sister to see how Eller was doing. No real reason. I wasn't nervous. Eller was her aunt, and they were supposed to be having a chill morning at my place. Dad, I heard mall music, like upbeat, echoey buy one get one free mall music hut. Are you shopping? I asked. Oh yeah, she said like I just asked if she had ears. Ella wanted to go to the toy store. Oh, hey, can I talk to her? Oh, she's outside. Be outside the store? Outside the mall? I was already standing. Wait, what do you mean outside the mall? Don't worry, Cupcake's with her. Cupcake is her dog, a 3PB white Pomeranian who wears bows, booties, and last I checked, a tiny fox leather jacket that says Dog Mom's Angel on the back. You left Ella outside with the dog. The store doesn't allow dogs, she said like I was the unreasonable one. And I wasn't about to leave Cupcake alone in the car. She has separation anxiety. The receptionist was staring at me. I grabbed my coat. You need to go check on Ella right now. Oh, darn. She's fine. Was gone for like 5 minutes. Yo, she made an annoyed sound and hung up. I was already halfway to the parking lot. The drive was a blur of red lights and worst case scenarios. I kept picturing Alice sitting alone on a bench, waiting or wandering off or getting lost or worse. By the time I pulled into the mall lot, my hands were shaking. I spotted my sister first. She was standing near the entrance, holding Cupcake like a newborn. No, Ella, where is she? I said. He blinked like I was the dramatic one. She was right here. She's 6. Maybe she went into one of the stores. Sure, maybe she was picking up a pair of earrings and a smoothie while she was at it. I scanned the food court, checked the hallway, asked a kiosk worker. Someone pointed toward the bookstore. I ran. Ella was in the kids section, cross-legged on the floor, reading to a doll, totally calm, totally alone. When she saw me, her whole face lit up. Mommy, look, this one has a puppy. I dropped to my knees and hugged her so tightly she squeaked. Then I stood up and told her we were going home. No, we walked out hand in hand. My sister was still standing there, same spot, same expression, like nothing had happened. Cupcake was licking her own paw dramatically. You found her, my sister said. Not even a question. She was alone. So was Cupcake. I stared at her. I mean, really looked. And just when I thought it couldn't get worse, well, she said, tilting her head, now you know what it feels like. What feels like leaving your baby alone? You don't have a he pointed at the dog. I mean, my baby. I just stood there frozen somewhere between laughter and a stroke. Then I turned around and walked away. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I didn't even look back. But in that moment, I made a decision. She wanted to make a point. Fine. So would I. And 3 weeks later, when she was crying outside my house, I still hadn't raised my voice. But she'd lost everything. Some people spiral after a breakup. My sister spiraled into dog culture. Not immediately, though. There was a time when she couldn't stand dogs, said they were slobbery and needy, and ruined the aesthetic of a good outfit. That was back when she was busy being the family's little star. She's 2 years younger than me. Growing up, she was the sensitive one, the creative one, the free spirit, which was code for the one who got away with everything. She'd cry, I got blamed. She'd break something, I got blamed. She'd throw a tantrum at someone else's birthday party. She's just emotional. I got labeled the mature one, which mostly meant invisible. And somehow, even as adults, that dynamic stuck. She changed identities the way other people change Spotify playlists. One year she was a startup queen, then a wellness guru, then a full-time TikTok empath. Now she was the proud mother of a tiny white Pomeranian named Cupcake. Cupcake was technically her boyfriend's dog at first. He worked long hours in an office downtown. She was unemployed, working from home, part-time, doing admin work for some vague startup she refused to name. So, naturally, she and Cupcake bonded. Within weeks, Cupcake had a stroller, then a handmade scarf collection, then a Halloween costume that cost more than Ella's entire wardrobe. She started calling her my baby without a hint of irony. She made a dog-themed vision board. She started a separate Instagram for Cupcake. I got more followers in 6 months than I had in 6 years. And somewhere between the bow tie collars and gluten-free dog biscuits, she got an idea. I'm going to open a cafe, she announced. But not just any cafe, a dog cafe, like a wellness space for dogs and dog parents. You know, I didn't know dogs aren't allowed in most cafes, she said. Scandalized, it's discrimination. I want to build a space where Cupcake can sit beside me while I journal and sip an oat milk latte. That was the pitch. No business plan, no numbers, just vibes. And then came the real ask. I only need like $40,000 to get it off the ground. She said it casually like she was asking for a ride to the airport. Not an entire down payment. Here's the thing. I actually do work in investing. My firm handles early stage ventures, cafes, DTC products, niche startups. I know what works and I know what crashes into flames. Her cafe idea. It was one collab mug away from a full tax write-off. So I said no, finally. At first, it's a very saturated space. Pet-focused retail is growing. But it's risky, especially when it's built around a single aesthetic. She blinked. Are you saying Cupcake isn't marketable? I was saying a lot of things, but I kept it professional until she asked again and again. Eventually, I told her the truth. I wouldn't invest my firm's money. I wouldn't invest my personal money. And I wouldn't fake interest just to boost her confidence. That's when she got cold. Real cold. Here's the part that makes me want to slap past me with a rolled-up newspaper. I was funding her life the whole time because she didn't want to ask her boyfriend for money. She was too proud for that. She asked me quietly, indirectly, repeatedly. Rent, I helped. Groceries, I covered. Cupcake's emergency grooming appointment charged to my card. At one point, I even handed her a backup credit card for dog vitamins. She used it to buy herself a $140 hoodie with ears on the hood. At the time, I didn't think too hard about it. I was the one with the stable job, the house, the husband. I figured she'd grow out of it. He didn't. Instead, she grew bolder. So, when she offered to babysit Ella for 1 hour, I thought, maybe this is a step. A little anti-bonding. A wing. Instead, she left my daughter outside a mall with a dog because Cupcake wasn't allowed inside. And then she had the audacity to tell me, now you know what it feels like. He meant it. That moment kept replaying in my head like a bad dream. Her face, the way she said it, she wasn't sorry. He was making a point. I didn't shout. I didn't post. I didn't even tell my husband the whole story at first. I just canceled the shared card quietly. No more rent. No more emergencies. I locked it all down. At first, she didn't even notice. But when she did, oh, you'd better believe she made it everyone's problem. As I said, she didn't realize I cut her off right away. That was the most insulting part. I thought she'd notice when her rent didn't go through or when she tried to order one of those overpriced freeze eat dry dog food subscriptions again. But no, for the first few days, silence. Then a text on Sunday morning right as I was folding laundry. Hey, just tried to get a matcha, and the card declined. Super weird. Super weird indeed. I didn't respond. I didn't have the energy to explain that she no longer had an expense account funded by the sister. With boundaries issues. 10 minutes later, also, the rent thing bounced. Did the bank change something? Then Lauren, hello, and finally, did you cancel my card? What is going on? I sent one message. You'll need to cover it yourself going forward. She didn't respond for 2 hours. Then she called me twice. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail. I didn't listen to it. Then she sent a 5-minute voice note that I did listen to out of morbid curiosity. It was mostly her talking to Cupcake in the background while venting about my emotional withholding. This is what happens when you help people, she said. With all sugar and venom, you give, and then they resent you for it. If she hadn't paid for dog food in almost a year, I was literally subsidizing Cupcake's wardrobe. But I still said nothing, not because I was being mature, but because I was tired. Until the text turned nasty. You're acting like I committed a crime. You're seriously punishing me for choosing not to abandon my baby. You've always hated that I'm different. There was that same tone she always used when she wanted to flip the story, make herself the quirky victim of my supposed emotional coldness. Then she posted on Facebook. Of course she did. It was a selfie. Just her and Cupcake. Cupcake was in one of her stupid little harness vests that said emotional support fluff. Caption read, when your own sister cuts you off financially, emotionally, and spiritually, but you still have your baby. #priorities, #family doesn't hurt. He tagged our mom and Cupcake's Instagram. I stared at my phone for a solid 2 minutes. Then I logged into Facebook, something I hadn't done in months, and stared at the growing list of likes and oh my god, babe, what happened comments. For a second, I almost closed the app and let her run with it. Almost. But then I saw one comment that read, wow, who does that to their sister over money? So I commented back publicly. She left my 6-year-old daughter alone outside a mall. Eller got scared and wandered off. She didn't notice or care. I didn't cut her off because of a dog. I cut her off because I can't trust her with my child. That was it. No hashtags, no emojis, no drama, just the truth. I didn't even stay to watch it blow up. I just turned off my phone and went to bed. The next morning, my notifications were a disaster. Missed calls, group chat messages, screenshots from cousins I hadn't heard from in months. A message from my mom that said, we need to talk. Of course, we did because suddenly I was the one with family issues and she was crying nonstop. And maybe you could have said it in private. But here's the wild part. A lot of people, more than I expected, actually took my side. My cousin Claire messaged, wait, she left Eller alone. What the hell? A friend from college. Dude, I thought she was talking about a breakup. I didn't realize she meant you. This is messed up. Even some of her dog mom followers commented things like, this goes beyond pet parenting. You don't leave a kid alone. The family group chat was weirdly quiet. Then finally, my mom called. I picked up. We didn't know, she said. We thought it was an overreaction. It wasn't. She told us Cupcake wasn't allowed in the store. That's all. And Ella wasn't allowed in either. Apparently, there was a pause. You're right to be upset. I just wish it didn't have to be public. I wish she hadn't posted at all. She didn't argue, and for once, that was the whole conversation. I finally told my husband the full story. He hadn't known all the details, just that something was off, and that I'd stopped talking to my sister. He listened. He didn't interrupt. He just took Eller into his arms and said, you did the right thing. We talked about future plans, emergency contacts, backup babysitters. His family clearly didn't mean safe anymore. I booked a vetted sitter the same day. I was fine, by the way. Not traumatized, not shaken. She just didn't ask about her aunt at all, which says enough. My sister, meanwhile, went quiet. No texts, no calls, not even a passive-aggressive comment on Cupcake's account until a few days later when she posted something new. It was a story on Instagram, just white text on a black background. Some people will destroy your whole life because you love differently. The caption said, "If you know, you know." I didn't know. I didn't care. But I had a very strong feeling she wasn't done. Not even close. After the Facebook post drama, the family group chat explosion, and a few cryptic dog mom Instagram stories, things had been quiet. Suspiciously quiet. Eller was back in her routine. The new babysitter was a godsend. Cupcake's account hadn't posted in 5 days, which was practically a national emergency in my sister's world. I didn't trust it, but I wasn't going to poke the bear. Then my phone rang. It was a number I didn't recognize, but I answered anyway. "Hey, it's me. I mean, it's Oliver, right? The boyfriend." I barely knew him. We'd met twice. He always wore cologne that lingered like a breakup and called Cupcake my girl. "Can I ask you something?" He said, "Sure." Did she really leave Ella alone at the mall? I didn't dance around it. Yes. With the dog? Yes. And she didn't come back out for how long? 10, maybe 15 minutes. She didn't even think it was a problem. She said Ella made Cupcake anxious. There was a long pause. No breathing, no background noise. Just air thick with disbelief. "Okay," he said finally. That's all I needed. No anger, no defense, no apology on her behalf. Just that's all I needed. I thought maybe that would be the end of it. That I'd hear from someone else a week later. Maybe a cousin, maybe my mom. But I didn't expect what came next. My sister posted a photo of an empty dog bed on her story with the caption, "Lost everything, no tags, no context, just vibes and emotional damage." Then my mom texted me. Oliver left her, took Cupcake. She's devastated. I stared at the screen for a full minute, and then I laughed loudly alone. Not because I'm evil, but because sometimes life writes a better punchline than I ever could. Cupcake, the baby, the centerpiece of the brand, the emotional support animal she emotionally neglected a human child for, gone for 2 glorious days. She disappeared from all platforms. No posts, no rants, no blurry photos of latte foam shaped like paws. And then she appeared at my front door. I was watching a movie in the living room, folding laundry, trying to enjoy 5 minutes of peace, when I heard the knock. 3 aggressive rapid-fire bangs. I didn't have to look through the peephole. I already knew. She was standing there in oversized sweatpants, sunglasses, and a hoodie that said, "Dog moms do it better." Her hair was pulled into a messy bun that looked more like an existential crisis. "You ruined my life," she said the moment I opened the door. "Hello to you too. You turned everyone against me. You made me look like a monster. You are a monster. You left a 6-year-old alone outside a mall because I wanted to make a point. Mission accomplished. You always think you're better than me." Ella's head peeked round the corner. I immediately softened my voice. "Go upstairs, sweetie, right now." She didn't even ask why. She just nodded and disappeared. "You don't get to come here and yell in front of my daughter." I said, "Oh, please spare me the Mom of the Year act. You're not perfect either. You always act so put together, so smug. Your little job, your house, your husband." She waved her hand toward the inside of my home like she was physically allergic to stability. "You humiliated me," she said. "You told Oliver. You made him take her. She couldn't even say Cupcake's name. He guessed. I told the truth. You destroyed my relationship. No, you did that all by yourself." She took a step closer. I didn't move. "You think cutting me off makes you the bigger person?" "No," I said. "It makes me someone who finally learned how to say no." She stared at me, waiting for something. An apology, maybe a flinch, a tear. I gave her nothing. "You always look down on me," she said. her voice cracking. Now my whole life. No, I said. I kept hoping you'd grow up. And I waited longer than I should have. Her breath hitched. That's when my husband came down the stairs. He didn't say anything, didn't raise his voice. He just stood behind me, calm and silent and unmistakably present. She saw him and she broke. You've ruined everything, she sobbed. Everything. My life is in pieces, and you don't even care. I care, I said. I care about my daughter. I care about my safety. And I care about not raising Eller to believe that abuse wrapped in glitter is love. I was trying to make a point. Well, now you've made it. You think you're so strong, she spat. No, I said. I just stopped making excuses for you. She stared at me for one more lung-shaking second, then turned, stormed off the porch, and left without another word. A week later, my mom called. She moved back in with us, she said. I figured she's not doing great. I didn't say anything. She told me you took everything from her. I let out a quiet breath. She's telling anyone who will listen that you destroyed her life. That I already knew. Do you think she believes it? I asked. I think my mom said slowly that she's not used to consequences. I haven't heard from her since. No apology, no accountability, no new business pitches. Eller never mentioned her again. Cupcake is thriving. According to Oliver's Instagram, she has a new sweater collection and recently took a pause and reflect trip to a dog-friendly cabin in Oregon. As for me, I'm not angry anymore. I'm tired, but I'm also free. And honestly, for the first time in years, that's more than enough. It's been 3 years. Ella just turned 89. She's into astronomy now. Black holes, Mars rovers, constellations. She tells people she wants to be an astronaut, who also fosters rescue cats. I told her I'd help build the rocket if she figures out the cat part first. We haven't seen my sister since the porch incident. She moved in with our parents right after the breakup, and for a while, it looked like she was going to stay there indefinitely. But about a year later, she got a new calling, some kind of luxury pet wellness startup that sells checker-safe chewables and crystal-infused shampoo. I'm not even joking. She moved in with a friend from yoga who let her turn the guest room into a home office, photo studio for cupcake-themed candles. So, no, she doesn't live with our parents anymore. But she still plays the long-distance martyr from what I hear. We're still no contact. We've blocked each other. No texts, no calls, no surprise drop-ins. My parents try not to bring her up, and I don't ask. We're polite, cordial even, but there's a quiet understanding now. I won't pretend that nothing happened, and they won't pretend she's blameless. They see Eller on birthdays and holidays. They bring gifts and try to hard, but they're making the effort. That's something. Eller doesn't ask about her aunt, not out of pain. She just filled that space with better people. So have I. Our lives are full, simple, predictable in the best way. Cupcake still lives with Oliver, by the way. He has a travel blog now. I wish I were kidding. As for me, I don't miss the chaos. I don't even miss my sister. Not really. I miss what I wanted us to be. But I don't miss who she actually was. And sometimes, even now, I wonder, did I do the right thing? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.